I started editing videos when I was just 18 years old. No film school, no tutorials, no mentor, just me, my laptop, and Corel Video Studio back in the day, which was like the only editing software I had. And I'll be clear with you, it took me way longer to get my first client than it should have. I made every mistake along the way. It also took me way longer to realize that video editing was an actual profitable skill. So today I'm going to show you exactly how I would do it if I had to start over completely again. The software, the clients, the skills you need to have, and what exactly it is you need to get to the full-time level as a video editor. First thing is the software, and I want to talk about this because there's so many different editing softwares out there, and you don't know what to choose at first. Most people are looking at CapCut, Premiere Pro, DaVinci Resolve, Final Cut Pro, and I'm here to tell you, if you're somebody new and don't have a lot of money, go ahead and download DaVinci Resolve right now. DaVinci Resolve is completely free, no trial. It's not really watered down. There's a couple of little stipulations that you have, but you won't even encounter them as somebody who's a brand new editor. So this would be a great thing for you to start using right now. This is the same software used on major films, commercials, and TV series around the world. So you want to be where the money is. Yes, Premiere Pro also is an industry standard too, and I've used Premiere Pro a lot in the agency world, which I'll go into later. The reason why I chose DaVinci Resolve in the long run is because there's a low cost barrier to entry. You pay no money and you can get right into all the cool tools you need to actually make great videos. And as you grow, you can invest into DaVinci Resolve Studio for $300, by the way, for lifetime. Now, this is way different from Adobe because you're going to spend $55 just getting After Effects and Premiere Pro on your computer. You have to pay that every single month. So I decided to pay $300 for lifetime just to get DaVinci Resolve Studio, and it keeps getting better every single day. Next, I'm going to share with you the biggest mistake that cost me the most amount of time. And if I would have known this at 18 years old, I would have done this 10 times sooner. And that is working for free to build a portfolio. When you first get into this video editing thing, everybody online is going to tell you to charge your worth, never work for free. And that is not true. These guys can do that because they already have something called a personal brand build. And I'll talk to you about that later on. But for somebody who's brand new and you have zero skills, zero experience, you have to start doing things for free to build your portfolio up. Think about it like this. Imagine you send somebody an email or a DM saying, hey, I'd love to edit your videos. Here's my price. They're going to be like, dude, like, first off, they're going to go look every which way to see if you're actually a real person and not a scam. And secondly, they're going to look around at prices too and see if it even makes sense for what you're charging. When you put your ego to the side and actually work for free, you finally have projects to show people with real footage, real edits, and real results. And that's exactly what you need to actually start booking clients on the regular, is results and proof. Because 10 years ago when I first started, it was about how it looked and how pretty it was. Now edits are about the results. So sometimes it's not even about making the prettiest edit in the world, but if you know how to structure a story, that's what gets you results. And that's what clients want the most. So how do you start working for free? The first thing I would do is get on YouTube and find some of your favorite creators that you like. And what you're going to do is you're going to download their video with one of those YouTube downloaders, and you're going to re-edit it in the way that you would edit it. You're going to add effects, you're going to add captions, you're going to add zoom in, zoom outs. And not only that, like, obviously, if you're new to this thing, you're not going to know how to do all those things. But you can use their footage to practice without having to go out and film your own. This is honestly the real cheat code, and I wasted about a year not doing this. So now you've got all these free projects. What do you do now? And how do you start making your first bit of money as a video editor? There are two routes to go. There's the completely freelance route, and then there's going to contract for an agency route. And these two routes are probably the safest and easiest ways to get into the industry. Now, one thing to be clear of as a freelancer is that you're running your own business, right? And even as a contractor, running your own business. But as a freelancer, you're going out and finding your own clients. Now, if that's something you want to do, take that route, but also you got to be very specific about the client you're working with. With an agency, you're going to work with them and they're going to send you work every week or every month. So all you have to do is sit back and wait and get paid and do the work and deliver on time. Now, what that does mean is you're going to get paid a lot less from an agency because you don't have to go out and find the work yourself. So you can't charge the prices that you normally would charge. But if you just want to get some consistent money coming in, an agency route is a smart way to go. If you're more of a businessman and you love talking to people, the freelance route is going to always be your favorite thing to do. So if you work with an agency, you also get the ability to put those clients in your portfolio as well. Would you imagine working with an agency that has Nike as a client or Microsoft as a client? That looks really good on your portfolio. So that's one pro about working with the agency, but the cons definitely are pricing and having to deliver on really tight deadlines. As a freelancer, one of the really big pros is that you get to set your own rates and choose the clients you work with. Not only that, but you get to actually run a business and understand how it is to run a business and hire employees and do all of that stuff. Now, this is a huge barrier to entry on its own. So be careful here if you're not interested in this. If you're somebody who doesn't like talking to the client and doesn't want to spend a lot of time trying to find work, I suggest going the other route, which is the agency route. No matter what, when going both of these routes, the whole point of this is to over deliver to the client. And for the agency side is to over deliver to the agency and be really, really good. Because what's going to happen is you're going to over deliver and they're going to send you work every week or every month. And now you're getting paid more consistently. And that's what you want to do. You don't want to be the guy delivering videos 2 weeks late or 3 days late or even 1 day late. You want to be ahead if you can, because that's what's going to keep getting you booked and keep sending you money every single month to go full time. Now, this part is my favorite part about video editing, is that video editing is not just about editing anymore. There was a time 10 years ago where you could just be a solo editor and make a shit ton of money and make 6 figures a year. Now things are a little bit different. When you're in the online world trying to make online money, you have to go a little bit of a different route because everybody has heard of an editor. Everybody knows how much editors cost. Editors are high demand, but also high supply, which means the prices are going to keep getting drove down over and over again unless you're somebody who builds something called a personal brand. Your personal brand is going to allow you to get bigger clients the better you are. Imagine trying to pitch Kim Kardashian when you have 0 followers. That's not going to work. Imagine trying to pitch your favorite YouTubers when you have no brand. That's not going to work. So your personal brand is your everyday sales tool that you need to be building. So what do you do for this? The easiest way for an editor to build a personal brand is to use before and afters. You can take somebody's raw footage and put your edit right beside it and say, hey, look, I did this. That's one of the easiest ways. The second way is to actually get on camera and talk about your process like I'm doing right here. Talk about the things you've done. Talk about how you helped your clients out. Obviously, this one's a little bit harder because people hate being on camera, but I promise you, this is what sets you apart. And the third way is to document your life. Document you learning how to edit. Document you learning how to deal with this client. Document you making mistakes with the clients as well, because people want to know how you deal with adversity. So what happens when client work is slow? What do you do when client work is nowhere to be found? Cold and warm DMs are not working and you're not getting clients at all. What do you do? The second best thing you can do is build your own digital products. And building your own digital products looks a lot like LUTs, effects, templates, all the things that you use every single day. Build them and sell them yourself, and people will gladly buy your stuff because everybody wants to have a shortcut to get cool edits. So I recently started to learn this now, and I'm going to be doing that over the next few weeks, is building out all my project files and having all these templates ready for you guys to check out if you want to make editing a lot easier for you, especially if you're in DaVinci, because DaVinci is my main thing I use. And I'm going to give you guys access to all my effects very, very soon. And then of course, there's teaching and mentorship. But when you're somebody who's new, you can't do these things because nobody's going to believe what you got to say. Somebody like me who has 10 to 12 years in the game, it's easy for me to teach because I've been through everything. I've had so much experience and wins and losses in the business. So teaching is always going to be your last resort because you have to be an expert to get to that point. But you can always sell digital products. You can always do work for free to get more clients. And you can always ask your current clients if they need more work. Just to be clear, I started at 18 with nothing, no degree, nobody helping me. And I picked up my first laptop and really learned how to edit videos by sitting in the dark at 2 o'clock in the morning and wanting to get really good at it. So what I suggest you guys do is find your focus, find your discipline to actually start learning this stuff the right way. But everybody's going to be teaching you the editing techniques. I'm teaching you the business of editing. You need to learn the business of editing and the business of the industry because then you know how to navigate it. So today I gave you all the sauce about how to get clients and how to make yourself stand out in the world full of editors. So before you leave this video, I want you to go to the DaVinci website, download Resolve for free, and I want you to comment down below and say download it and tell me that you download it because I want to hold you guys accountable. So if you want me to go deeper than this and actually get into the editing techniques and the business of it, subscribe to this channel where I give you all the sauce for completely free. And with that, I'll leave you to it. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Hit me up on Instagram if you need, and peace out.